Believe it or not, this Schecter guitar is the first Schecter that I have ever touched. I'm going to try to play it for you today, right here on GearGasms. Hi everybody, welcome to GearGasms. I'm your host, Alan Barnes. Yes, today, for the very first time, courtesy of my friends up at Earle Teat Music in Delmar, Delaware, I got a Schecter. I've never touched one before. How could it possibly be that you've never touched a Schecter guitar in your life? I'm going to tell you in just a second. But first, if you're new to the channel, I'd like to ask you to like and subscribe. This channel is like the Galaxy Note 7, except you kind of wish it would blow up. Celebrate mediocrity. Mediocre is a word that I have never heard applied to Schecter guitars. Everybody rants and raves about how well made they are and how under the radar they fly. Now back in my day, back in the Stone Ages, Schecter was a guitar company, a guitar parts company. Sparing you the history lesson, they now make guitars in Korea that are affordable for most all of us. Now when I say affordable, this guitar is $12.99. That's not exactly affordable to a lot of people, but when you compare what the Schecter gives you with this model and other models compared to their competitors, it's a very good value. And speaking of what they're giving you in this guitar, it's a great time to go over all the specs while we ooh and ah over some glorious B-roll. It's the great tone wood combination of mahogany body and an exotic burl top. Isn't it just gorgeous? Burl is not necessarily my jam normally, but you can see the flame in the middle. Now, a burl maple top has a lot of stories. Them wormholes, right? There's a story. You want to know the story of that? The guitar was a tree, a worm got in it, made a hole. But that gorgeous top got 5 layers of binding. A standard stop tail piece and bridge, 1 volume for each pickup and 1 tone, which is push-pull for coil splitting. The pickups are Pasadena USA series and they are based on PAFs. 22 extra jumbo frets, abalone inlays. That fingerboard, it's made of ebony. Oh, and isn't that headstock beautiful? It also has a 5-ply binding, locking tuners. Of course, a beautiful piece of mahogany on the back. The neck is 3-piece mahogany itself. The neck is not glossed in the main playing area. The gloss stops just above the body and it starts again just below the headstock. It's a set neck with a 12 to 16 inch compound radius. The scale length is 24.75, just like a Lester Paul. Nut width is 1.653 inches. Nut material is black melamine. Now that we've heard what's under the hood, let's plug it in and attempt to play it. Starting off there with a clean D, a clean D. Now, we're not going to spend a whole lot of time here. Clean side of the EVH green channel, a little bit of reverb from Ocean's 11. Let me show you that coil split. That was split. Now, one of the things that makes this such a joy to cowboy chord on, oh, the compensated nut. What? Compensated nut. You go ahead, Ernie Ball, with your compensated nut. Single note split versus humbucker. Middle position, humbucky. Do you want to hear it on split D? Very nice. Necky neck. What if we step on a tube screamer? Now these are based on the PAF, so we all knew that that probably would be a recipe that would be good. Now we're gonna get some organic dirt. We're gonna pull the mids back, gain is up. We're still on the green channel. I didn't show you the tone. Are you ready? That's clean and crunch on to high gain. Now, you hear all that hiss? That means we're on a red channel. You can hear that coil split a lot more in the clean to dirty stuff. That's interesting. So we ain't gonna fool with it much more. We'll just stay on the humbucker till further notice. Just so you know, the gain on the EVH is at halfway. We're halfway. Now, we're gonna get a lot of feedback. The amp isn't even that loud, really. I'm not that far from it, but it's not that loud. Oh, this thing has just really got some heavy duty pickups. I'll do something you chug kids might appreciate more. Let's just hear it dry. Bone dry. No screamer, no nothing. More gain? Gain's at about 2 o'clock. I'll do something real quick. Now I just did every YouTuber demo for anybody who's in their 40s or below. That's the demo you get. Did you like that chug? Did you like that drop D shit? Back to E. Now I will say, going down to drop D like that, the tuning was really well preserved on the other strings. Nothing missed a beat. Do you give a shit about the middle position? Here it is. Neck pickup with that much gain and it didn't flub out. Now I had the tube screamer on, but even still, with the screamer off, it wasn't terrible. Let's move on to some glorious lead tones. We'll put the reverb back on. Now that intonation is spot on. I don't think just from the compensated nut. You feel like you can just play anywhere on the neck and the note is gonna be right. I know y'all be disappointed if I didn't do that. Neck pickup. Had enough? Not yet. A little more. What did we learn today? Well, I learned at least, and I never thought I'd say this out loud, but there is such a thing as frets that are too big. But what I also learned about them big extra jumbo frets is when I down-tuned it to drop D, if you're doing a lot of the heavy chugging percussive stuff, those big frets are your friend. And finally, what we didn't learn is just how good this guitar could sound if it was in the hands of somebody who could actually play guitar. Oh my gosh, thank you to Earle Teat Music in Delmar, Delaware, Dean and Chris. They're carrying Schecter now. That's the whole reason I'd never played a Schecter, because nowhere I've ever lived, no local music stores that ever carried the brand, but now my local music store does. Shop your local music store wherever you are. As always, I thank you for the time that you spend with the channel. Please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. You got some ratty, embarrassing, moochy, government cheese-eating friends. Tell them about GearGasms. They're going to fit in here perfectly. Got some new merch for 2024, a couple of new colorways, took some of the old stale garbage down. It's a lot cleaner. I encourage you to go there and support the channel by buying some merch. Link is in the description. Whatever you do in the next 7 days, don't tell Dan Schneider about it, because all he wants to do these days is iCarly.
Sexy time.
Quiet on the set.
But play more guitar. Watch less of this. And keep coming back here week after week for more GearGasms.